What is the TikTok branded effect? We're going to be talking about today really quickly. For anyone that hasn't used it before, the TikTok branded effect is basically the ability to add AR, augmented reality effects to videos that people can post regarding your brand. So there's a lot of different examples about this. If you Google the TikTok branded effects, or I'll throw a link in at the video, you can head over to their page. It allows larger brands, so a lot of automotive companies or music, artists, or consumer electronics, or even consumer products, healthcare, beauty, things like that, can be able to create these effects that go around what would be consumers' content. And I think to me, whoever started this, or the company that started this and has done really well with it, has always been Snapchat. That their face filters and things like that have just been amazing, and people love them. You could turn your head into a taco, and there's so many examples of stuff that they've done that basically allows the person to interact with the brand that's trying to advertise and have a connection, be a part of what it is that they're selling or doing, which I just think is incredible in terms of advertising, that the people are committed, they're having fun, they like to share their own version of what happens when the filters go on or happen from there. And so TikTok branded effects aren't really face filters as much as they are kind of AR overlays, where on the video there might be words, something, if it's a hamburger restaurant, there would be hamburgers floating around your head, or flying from one side and you're trying to eat them as they reach the center of the screen. Things like that would be creative. They could be cool text and things overlay that might appear in front of you or behind you, so it feels like you're right there with the content as it's happening, or with the brand or the advertisement as it's happening. So it's definitely something that I think large brands should be looking into, because it's a fun way to involve consumers in your branding activity, to get them to be a part of it and interact and engage with it. I do think it is fairly complicated. It needs to be well thought out. Any of these that I've seen, if it is not thought out well, you usually see the response from it, which is nothing. If it is creative and people can have fun with it, and it's something that people like, it has the ability to explode. If it's just, hey, let's put our logo on it and float around, it has no value to a consumer who says, I don't care if there's a logo floating around me, or on the screen somewhere. Like, that does nothing. So there definitely needs to be a lot of thought in the creation behind these and what goes into them. But ultimately, I think it's a very powerful tool that large brands should be using. Smaller companies, I don't necessarily think you should be looking into this a ton, unless you have maybe a developer that can help you build them, or you've got extra money kind of laying around. But usually it's about the large advertisers, definitely people that would, in my opinion, be above the 10 million a month mark in advertising. They should probably be looking into this. It's not to say you can't do it when you're smaller. I just think you've got to be very strategic about how you're doing it and who you're hiring. It can get expensive to build some of these. So definitely make sure you're doing it the right way. And this is kind of more of a branding aspect, where people are just talking about it and being aware, versus I'm ready to purchase. And I think for a lot of smaller companies, they should always be focused more on performance and driving sales. That's how you're going to get to be a big company, is if you have more money coming in, you should you'll become a big company. But when you're small, you've got to really focus on sales, versus I want everyone in the world to know my name. That won't necessarily result in sales. They need to know what you do different, what you do better, and why they should purchase your product, as opposed to a competitor or nothing at all, or saving their money or using it for something else. So anyway, those are my thoughts on it. I'd love to know if you guys have used the TikTok branded effect, what your results have been. Did you see good ROI numbers? Did you see bad ROI numbers? In regards to just general branding, how did it perform? Was it a good campaign? Was it a poor campaign? So anyway, I'd love to know your thoughts below. Let me know what you think.